from LPI Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. It's R&R on Sports with Uncle Howard, Howard Robertson.
What does it have to do with Kobe deciding to retire and making this the farewell tour?
Jennifer Conroy.
As an elite player, as top of the draft, to go to a team that just straight up sucks.
And the magnificent Larry Robinson.
I think the Cavs will win the championship.
It's R&R on Sports.
Let me see those hands again. Hang on now. Everybody jump, jump.
Hello, world, and welcome to Little R&R on Sports. I'm Uncle Howard.
And I am the fantastic, the amazing, the awesome, I just can't even get all the superlatives out, but man, it's all me, man. It's Larry Robinson in the house. What's up, everybody?
See,
it's
when you talk too long, you choke up.
Is that what happens? Do I need to, it's because I'm just so filled with excitement and joy that we are here again, able to just talk to America in this very intimate relationship that we have with all of our listeners, man.
Once again, we're glad to be back. It is the weekend. Let me introduce to the world.
Who?
Miss.
Who?
April Taylor.
April Taylor?
April Taylor.
Girl,
April
what's
Taylor
going on with you,
sitting in with us today. She is sitting in with us today. We're glad to have her, and we're going to be talking more about her and everything else, particularly on the scene of college.
Is that human her?
Yes,
I said her.
You said her. I'm like, is it human her?
H-E-R.
Is that just synthetic? I don't want none of that synthetic her.
You need help. You need help. Olympics, y'all.
Yeah.
Full of drama.
Drama, excitement. It's like an amazing movie or a novel. It's got a villain or villains.
Yep.
You got that
lies.
You got that line, mofo.
Yeah, you got lies. You got injuries.
You got insults.
You got all kinds of stuff.
You got a climax.
Yes.
I mean, it's just everything.
It's most amazing. amazing.
We got edges.
And so, we got that. We're going to talk about all of that stuff in the next segment. But let me ask y'all, are y'all pleased with what you're seeing from the USA men's basketball team?
They lack leadership. If you think about the Olympics in the past, you've had the last Olympics, you got LeBron, then you got Kobe, you got Jason Kidd. Charles Barkley made a good point, and he was talking about the fact that, you got a lot of people that need the ball and are looking for their shot. A lot of scores. Carmelo, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, all of these guys.
Is that a reason or rationale for lackluster play?
No, you got to have role players, and you got to have somebody who is selfless. I think you got to have that selfless leader.
That's not Carmelo?
No, Carmelo's a scorer.
This is supposed to be his team.
He's a scorer, man.
This is supposed to be his team.
But look at his team. Look at the Knicks. I mean, Carmelo has never been that great leader.
He's saying he lacks leadership.
Yeah, he lacks that skill that I think that puts someone over or a team over the top. You got to have that selfless person there. And I don't think the U.S. Olympic team has that.
They going to win gold?
They could possibly be upset. I see that. I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I would equally not be surprised if they lost.
Oh, that wouldn't be a good look.
Well, then it's good when they're going to beg LeBron. They're going to beg the big boys to come back, but they're going to also have a real role playing.
Meanwhile, the women are dominating.
This might be the dream team of women ball players. you're talking about Taurasi, Brittany Griner. Suber. You got some amazing ball players out there. Angel McCoughtry. You got some ballers.
Yeah.
You got some straight up ballers.
Speaking of amazing, we got an amazing show today. Glad you're with us.
And then you got Gino Emma as a coach, man. You can't. He's the Don.
It's not his first rodeo.
Yeah,
he knows a little bit. But we want you to stay with us. Laugh your booty off. This is funny. That's coming up. And we're going to be back on the other side of this to talk all about the Olympics right after this. Hello, I'm Uncle Howard,
Jennifer Conroy.
I'm Larry, the fantastic Robinson.
your host for R&R on Sports. Get our podcast, get after us. We look forward to having you.
R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network.
Today, R&R listeners, we've got a special report direct from the 2016 Rio Olympics.
That's right. R&R had exclusive inside coverage by our chief correspondent, Uncle Ragus Robinson. Welcome back to US, Unc.
Thank you, April. Girl, you look just like some of them Brazilian girls I was with down there in Rio.
You like my edges?
I love your edges and everything. I'll turn around, spin around, and let me see what you...
I'm not going to be diving over on finish
I
lines
had
now.
a finish line ain't what I had in mind.
Cut it out. Listen, Unc. You were down in Rio at the Olympics. Tell us what you saw.
Well, y'all know, but most people don't know that I'm friends with Putin.
Yeah, that's right. You and Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, are good buddies.
Yep. Matter of fact, I calls him Puda. So Puda eased into Rio. The press didn't know nothing about it. And we got together. He loves to watch sports with me because I'm an expert, don't you know?
So you telling us that you and Putin were at the Olympics watching it live together?
Why, show. Me, him, and the KGB. We got off on a bad foot, though.
Now, how did you and the KGB get off on a bad foot?
Not KGB, me and Putin. We got to talking about politics. I just had to tell him, Puda, I'd vote for a one-eyed, one-legged monkey before I'd vote for your friend Donald Trump. He didn't like that and almost sicked the KGB on me.
Oh, you gonna cause a riot or an international incident? What you doing?
Oh, I ain't thinking about Puda. It got worse than that, though, when we was watching the competition. We watched swimming. USA got all them gold medals and no Russia. Then gymnastics, my baby Simone Biles. You know I used to go with her great-grandmama Bessie Mae Biles, don't you?
Whatever, Unc. You always come up with one of these stories with you and some lady.
I ain't lying. That girl could do cartwheels and the split, too. Woo! But we watched Simone and the rest of them girls whoop the snot out of them Russians. And don't mention track and field. USA beat them like they stole something. So I said, Puda, I thought you doped all your athletes up with performance-enhancing drugs. They look terrible. You need to get your money back from the dope man. That's got to be the worst investment in drugs that ever was. Then that's when the KGB put me out.
What?
Did they escort you out?
No, baby, they threw me out.
Ask who that is. And if it's anybody with letters in their name, like KGB, CIA, or FBI, you ain't never met me. Where's the back door, nephew? Over there, Unc. Ragus out.
This is MJ, and when I'm not in Chicago hanging out with Scotty and the rest of these guys, I'm always listening to R&R on Sports.
Now the party didn't start, so I walked in, and I probably won't leave until the thing ends. But in the meantime, and in between time, if you work your thing, then I work mine. We came here together so we could have fun. Me and you, baby, going one-on-one. Now this is the last...
And we are back. Hope you enjoyed that LMAO. We got plenty more, so y'all stay.
Man, we back like some lazy
tuned.
boys.
That's
What's
right.
happening, man?
Back like some lazy boys. I like that. I like that. But anyway, so much stuff to talk about in terms of the Olympics.
Okay, let's get it all in.
Breaking news. Lochte made up the story. All three of them made it up.
All three of them. Now listen, you know, Tom Brady has taught you guys how to stick to the story. Now, what's wrong with y'all? Now, this is Poolgate.
You should never do anything, make up anything that's important in your life when you're drunk.
Right.
Don't do that.
We was
Don't do that.
They put the gun to my forehead.
So that just and April, what did you just find out about the women's 4x100?
They're back in.
They're back in. Their appeal was granted.
Successful, yes.
Well,
yes.
you know, they the world record holders. It would be a letdown for the world record holders not to be in the Olympics.
And you guys were probably at work when this happened, but in the heats, the women's 4x100 meter relay was running, and Allison Felix, I think running the second leg, got bumped by the Brazilian and lost the baton. They dropped the baton.
That's what Ryan Lochte said. He said he got bumped by the Brazilians too. What's the difference?
Yeah, they say he got. Yeah, he said more than that. But at any rate, it's some difference when you're working with the truth. It's a big difference when you're working with the truth. But at any rate, they appealed, and they are going to get to run in the finals. And so that's good because they got a world record to defend. So that's good. So you got drama in that. You got the drama with Allison Felix running the 100.
And the girl
no,
dove.
100 or 200?
Well, the girl dove.
200. 200.
Oh, she dove.
Yes.
She turned into Greg Gainer.
Now, what y'all think? What y'all think about that? Not against the law. I mean, not against the rules.
I think there will be a rule change.
You think there'll be a rule change?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
that you can't do that?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to cross the
She said she was falling.
On 2 feet.
She said she was falling.
Yeah, she just propelled herself
Y'all don't believe
forward.
that?
She just propelled herself
No, let's go to
forward.
gymnastics.
It seemed like,
the
wait a
physics
minute.
of that is not true.
You know, they were worried about the Zika virus down in Rio. But it sounds like they got bit by the Pinocchio virus.
With some more line going on.
My thing is that how you want to win?
Yeah, and get a gold medal.
That's a good point.
Now, history,
it's not the principal way to win.
Let me ask you this. History will remember her as a gold medal, champion.
Who dived over the line.
With a caption.
No. They will remember that she dove across the line.
Yes.
That will always be a caveat.
Yes. But as time goes on, it will be, I have a gold medal.
Okay.
And they'll say, and she will hold her gold medal up, and they'll say, "Oh, but weren't you the one that dove across?"
Once again, you'll remember.
But being from the Bahamas, they don't have a treasure trove of gold medals to show. So I mean, it won't really matter to her. But I don't think it's something that's something she should have done. I don't believe that she fell.
Okay, well, listen. Let's look at Simone Biles in the balance beam. She won a bronze in the balance beam.
Right.
But she actually almost fell and touched it with her hands, and she was
Twice.
so far ahead of everybody else, and her routine was so difficult. She still got the bronze medal.
Sure.
I mean, you're talking about the greatest of all times.
Yeah.
I mean, people are saying that this woman is the greatest of all time. First Olympian gymnast to 3 gold medals.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
and now she has 4.
She's got 4 gold medals.
She has 4 now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying she was the first. There's never been one to have 3.
She's got more She's got more medals, Olympic medals, than any gymnast
in history. That is amazing. I mean, and she's just. I mean, I wonder what makes the American gymnast.
And this is her first Olympics.
Right. What makes the American gymnast so much more stronger, so much more technically astute and capable than the other
Russians?
countries. No, the other countries. The other countries, period. I mean, I watched China's gymnasts. I watched some of the others, and I mean the way they stick their somersaults and things like that. It just seems like, I mean, they just seem so much more equipped, I guess you could say, and so much more skilled.
I think they've got a strong will and strong will to win. If you look at this gymnastics team from the U.S., it is the most diverse. There are 2 African Americans. There's a Jewish young lady that's Caucasian girl. There is a
I think you would call that European. But
European. Okay, fine. But I said Caucasian because she's not from Europe. She's from the U.S. Okay. And the other one is Hispanic.
Right.
And so, I mean, it means something to them. They realize they have dates with destiny and history and whatnot, I believe. I think they're competing for a little more than even just the medals.
Yeah, I agree with you, and they seem to be really big supporters of one another.
Right.
That's what diversity does, though.
I
think you see the best in college sports, professional sports, national sports when you have diverse teams.
Now let me ask you, as a woman, as a woman, as an African American woman, as a black woman, what's your thoughts on the whole thing around the edges as it relates to Gabby Douglas as well as Simone Biles? What's that about, and how do you, as a black woman, address or feel about.
And for those of you who don't know, there was a social media firestorm about how particularly Gabby Douglas's hair looked during some of her performances. And this was a repeat from 4 years ago at the Olympics when some folks said some equally stupid thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that as a black woman, I'm just proud and excited to see black young women competing at this level.
Right.
As far as their hair goes, I would challenge people to talk about the rules. And so one of the things I learned during this process and reading all the tweets is being a gymnast is really hard from a technical standpoint, meaning that if your hair comes down, you can lose points. If you hit the beams with certain parts of your body, and as African-American women, our body structure is different anyway.
A little junk in the trunk.
Yeah, we got some stuff in extra place, even when we're fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to say.
So Serena couldn't be a gymnast, huh?
Well, I don't know. Maybe she can lift. If she can lift her
My
body
baby
weight,
could be anything she wants to be.
So I would say to people that are saying something about it, she's winning medals. She's on national TV.
I mean, she's on international,
and she's representing the country in a high style. And,
absolutely.
And if you've got an inch of weave in your hair, you need to shut up.
No.
That's in my. And I'm talking about generally. I don't shut up in terms of not talking about these women in terms of they doing
black,
work.
You should
they
be talking
doing
about
work.
It. They're working. When you go to work and you work out,
they're doing work.
No one works out with their hair. That's what happens.
That's right.
Working out.
That's right.
And I challenge people. Look at when she won all those awards. Those girls look amazing.
Absolutely.
Totally. And I want to congratulate somebody who hadn't been really congratulated a lot, and that is Michael Carter's daughter, Michelle.
Okay.
She won the shot put.
Oh yeah.
She won the shot put in a big way.
Well, Simone Manuel. I mean, she hasn't been talked about by us.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure and give her massive props and
congratulations, baby girl.
First African American women to win a gold medal in swimming.
The Muhammad young lady from Jersey
bronze.
Who won a bronze in fencing. We got so much to be proud of. We've got a great show for you. We're coming back on the other side of this with some conversation with April. So don't go anywhere. Very, very interesting talk.
I got the Tuesday mother dudes both did their thing, but Jam Max is getting loose and DMC's the king, cause he's the adult entertainer, child educator, Jam Max J, king of the crossfader. He's the better of the best believe he's the baddest. Perfect timing when I'm climbing, I'm a rhyming acrobatic, lot of guts. When he cuts, girls move their butts. His name is Jay, hear the play, he must be nuts. And on the mix real quick, and I like to.
Hi, this is Tweaker Catchings, and you're listening to R&R on Sports.
Hey, yo, Doug.
What?
Put your ballies on.
Yo, Rick, I was about to, but I need a shoe home.
Why?
Because the shoes always hurt my thumb.
6 minutes, they get French your own.
And we're back. And as you guys know, always this segment is called ICONversation, where we have conversation about and with icons. Today, the icon I want you to picture is a college athlete. And to talk about that, we've got April Taylor, who has 12 years experience as a collegiate experience as a student athlete, a coach, and administrator. Most recently as associate AD at George Mason University. April, again, welcome to R&R on Sports.
What up, girl? Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How your mama doing?
She all right.
Mama and them.
Mama and them.
She all right.
Well, we want to talk about
wait a minute. So
athletes.
everybody aspires, especially those high school athletes, aspire to be an NCAA or a college athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And, former college athletes ourselves, all three of us actually.
In a different time.
Yeah, in a different time. But what's the difference? What's the difference between, like, let's say a football player, a basketball player, a track athlete, and say a college baseball player? What are there differences in their lifestyle based on the sports that they play for
Most
a university?
definitely.
So take us through the life of a NFL, a football player.
So we're talking about Alabama. I guess it would be
collegiate.
NFL.
Yeah. So let's say a Alabama football player. What might be different versus a college basketball player?
Let's see, an Alabama football player.
It doesn't have to be Alabama. Just
because their facilities.
A high profile.
High profile. You're reporting. You're going to summer school.
Mm-hmm. All the students go to summer school.
Yeah, you want to get ahead, especially if you're a football student, because you can only get eligible in the summers and the spring. You don't get a chance to get it right like a basketball student after working. Your classes in the fall can count to help you in the spring. So you're coming in the summer, so you're giving up your summer.
Mm-hmm.
You're going right into camp. And then you're going right into, it's football season. Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It's football season.
Yeah.
Right.
So you had no summer transition. You got to remember spring ball, which we all watch.
Right.
Is what, March, April? So they're reporting already spring ball, and you have maybe like 30 days to yourself. And usually you're still training and finishing up your summer school classes. So the lifestyle for a college athlete today is really, really heavy focus.
Sound like rigorous, very rigorous.
Very rigorous. And then you got academics woven.
So don't get to spend a lot of time. If you're away from home as a college football player, you don't spend a lot of time at home during the summer.
No, that's why you see so many. That's why you see the dorms and you see all these things going into college athletics, because it becomes your home.
But isn't the experience for a football player and a high-profile basketball player different because the football player is going to be in college literally longer?
Yes. High profile, yes, it's a lot different because you talk about your one and dones that we all hear about.
Right.
So you're coming that summer. You leave high school,
right.
But you played AAU. If you're high profile, you've played AAU all summer long.
Right?
Basketball. Then you come to college. You're in summer school. You're working out. You're playing basketball. Fall. You work. November basketball season starts. You're playing in the spring.
All the way up to March.
All the way up to March, and high profile are probably playing in April at the Final Four.
Right.
Wait a minute. So basketball, literally, from the moment you step on campus in say August, you're training and everything. Well, a lot of the basketball players start summer working out, right?
Yes.
So they got summer workouts.
And
it's somewhat mandatory.
Now that it's permissible, yes, it's mandatory.
Yeah, it's mandatory. So when does the NCAA basketball player get off then?
If you're not good, you're off in March.
Well, that brings up something else, because are they not treated like celebrities versus students? When we were talking earlier, you were talking about so many courses that they take online because they can't. It's
so if we're talking about a football player,
it's unimaginable for them to show up in class.
Can you imagine?
Like James Winston.
No. Let's talk about basketball.
Okay.
Let's talk about celebrity, high-profile basketball player status.
They
don't go to regular classes like regular students.
I think basketball is different, because you got to remember in basketball, you're in a team sport, and you're around like the way basketball is set up. You're not having tailgates. You're not. The access to you is very limited in the sport of basketball, in my opinion.
Okay.
Very, very limited, the access that you have to them. And then
they got gatekeepers because they are high-profile athletes.
Yeah, gatekeepers I think you see a lot in men's basketball. And they're there just for 1 year. So really, by the time they break out and be this great player, that's March. Like, think about the twins that were at Memphis.
Right.
It really wasn't until we got the end of the year that you saw them blossom into these great athletes.
Players, yeah.
And so by that time, it's time for the draft. So that's what everybody wants.
So let's take it through. They get drafted and they go on in the NBA to play. Let me ask you this:
do they finish up that last semester?
Is there a history? Is there a history where there is a lot? These players, once they become rich and famous, do they feel any attachment at all to this place that they spent 9 months at?
I think you see less and less of that in basketball.
Meaning the university that they
because you see, I think if someone were to do a study on the coaching changes in basketball,
Right.
it's so many. It fluctuates. You know.
They don't really support these institutions.
I would say they don't support.
I mean, I can't see where they would have a connection.
I would think it's later down the line that they come back and support.
See, I find it interesting when you have a player like Carmelo Anthony and he gives back to Syracuse University when he spent a few months at
spent
Syracuse.
9 months there. Yeah.
Even if that long. Because if you think about it, he came in the first semester. He played the first semester. He went into the playoffs in March, and that was it. I guarantee you he didn't take not one final that second semester of school.
But when Carmelo played, the rules were different.
Okay.
Rules have changed. I would.
Okay, let's go with Kevin Durant. I mean, let's go with John Wall. Let's go with DeMarcus Cousins.
But let's do John Wall, where now you are creating
Devin Booker.
Even with Devin Booker, you're creating atmospheres where you're putting people around them so they can have the experience that you're talking about.
Okay.
You're now seeing colleges say, well, we're going to build these nice dorms and put the athletes on these levels and put other students in there with them.
Okay. So now that's a skewed experience.
So that they can now have some type of
very skewed. He didn't get to hang out in the CAF, or
they
didn't get to hang out on campus. They didn't get to go to the frat parties.
They have their own CAFs now. That's what's happening now.
But I'm saying they don't go to the frat parties and some of
look how much money they're worth. Look at what you. I think you got.
Yeah, but there's still. It's called student athlete, and you're saying they're much more athlete than student.
No, they're remaining academically eligible. So they're doing the student piece.
Well, listen,
now they're remaining academically eligible.
This is R&R on Sports, and we have April Taylor, a experienced college administrator. It works with several athletes and on several different levels. But, it begs to, if people need to go back and check out our Don Yee. Remember Don Yee talking about how these universities are actually taking advantage of these students on poor black kids, because these kids aren't going to school. These kids, I mean, think about it. Devin Booker, those kids, Trey Lyles, all these kids that are one and done, the Chris Dunns of the world. They are not experiencing SCAL or BCA. They're not experiencing college. They're less of a student, and they're actually an athlete on a college campus and waiting for the opportunity to play pro ball.
But they're very much the exception, right?
That's the exception. And
like I went to school as a
student athlete, and I think what is happening, what you will see is so much, like Louisville just broke ground in opening up their brand new academic facility. LSU has one of the best academic facilities.
Did you say Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville.
And did they have a stripper pole?
No, I think they left those out. Those weren't in the drawings. I think they left those out. But you're seeing institutions put more money into academics so that student athletes can have the things that they need to be successful academically.
Okay, wait a minute, real quick. Let me make sure people understand. University of Louisville had some problems where they actually had women doing, with these parties in the college dorms. So that's where the comment regarding the stripper poles come from.
Last question to you. Do you think that it really matters to most college institutions that these athletes get a degree?
Yes. I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay. All right. April, thank you, darling. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you for giving us some uncommon insight.
R&R on Sports. And this is the perfect segue. We're going to be back on the other side of this with our interview with one of the greatest college coaches of all time, Tubby Smith, right after this.
Blues in the Basement, Stephanie.
Woo, I want them to do something good for me, baby.
And T-Shaw.
Let's get funky with Albert King right here on Blues in the Basement. Yeah.
Live interviews from some of the biggest blues artists in the country.
Bobby Rush.
Wonderful. May God bless you all.
God bless you too. Thank you.
All right.
People keep asking me to sing about a good man.
Blues in the Basement. Stay up to date with the biggest blues festivals in the world. Blues in the Basement. Now podcasting and available on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And download the Blues in the Basement app.
I mean, this music just makes for a good time. All I need is a beer and some barbecue.
And some barbecue.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm T. Shaw.
Blues in the Basement. In the Basement. In the Basement. In the Basement. In the Basement.
Hello, everybody. This is Tim Brown, 2015 NFL Hall of Fame inductee, and you are listening to R&R on Sports.
I'm your idol, the highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I'm speaking so that you know. And understand I got the gift of speech, and it's a blessing. So listen to the lesson I preach. I talk sense condensed into the form of a poem, full of knowledge from my toes to the
You're listening to R&R on Sports, ICONversation with Coach Tubby Smith. Now, Coach, you mentioned that they come to you, they come in with the mindset of going to the NBA. Tell us or share with us how you prevail upon them that they are not abject failures if they don't make it in the NBA, and that
Well, that's why you educate them about right and wrong, about work ethic, about social, being a social, getting to know other people, having mentors like Larry is to Markel Crawford. So you have to expose them to people that are successful and we're not. They were pros in their area. They're pro doctor. They're pro professional. They're pro radio announcer. They're pros in
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with legendary coach Tubby Smith. Coach Smith, when you look at University of Memphis, as you're talking about all the things you want to do, and I know that national championship is the ultimate goal. How do you determine success in your first year of entering a new program?
That's a good question. I don't know that it's all, how can I say, just like us measuring how a kid improves shooting, his vertical jump, his free throw shooting, you have to have benchmarks. You have to have measure. You have a quote on your radio show. You have something you have to reach. So we have certain goals. The team will have their goals, individual goals, and if we can come close, if we can reach those goals, then we will have been successful. If a kid improves in his field free throw shooting or his 3-point shooting, that's going to help the team. That's how I work with them. I meet with them one-on-one. We talk about the individual goals, but we also talk about the team goals. To always keep those in mind. And then so I've never predicted what we would be, and so my whole thing is when you see our team compete, and when you leave FedEx Forum, you're going to say, boy, that team gave it everything they had. Win or lose. And that's success. That's how I equate success. Always have, always will.
Coach Smith, you've been you've been coaching for 44 years, and so you've seen a lot of guys come into programs and a lot of guys go on to succeed in other things. And the politics of basketball, do you think that we're moving towards paying college athletes? And should we? Or should we not?
Well, I had a talk the other day with one of the service groups. I think it was a Kiwanis group, and now it was a Rotarian European area. And I think that question was asked, and it's been asked a number of times. Right now players are getting the cost of attendance. For the University of Memphis, that's $5,000 plus a year. On top of if you qualify for the Pell Grant, which is over $5,000. So a kid has potential to pocket $10,000. Do you hear me saying? That hasn't hit a lick yet. Hasn't worked a day. So now I tell them about that. So you want to be paid. You want to be treated, okay, based on your production. That's what you're going to be paid on. Just like me. They paid me to come in to coach, win games, you get fired, or you do. So, son, are you going to be fired? Okay, so you come in here now, middle of the season, I don't like the way you play. You haven't lived up to standards, fellas. You're fired.
Wow. Wow.
I like that. I like that.
That's about being paid. Now, you got to understand, you're going to earn every penny. Just like you and I have on our jobs. Your mom and dad go to, they earn every penny.
Yeah, it's real world.
It's a real world. So, yeah, pay them.
But I think that attitude is necessary, especially for the Tigers program, which honestly has been lacking in some discipline for a while. I think it's amazing that you're walking in with that attitude and you're going to be able to teach these guys life, because that's just as much a part of it as basketball.
It's just, that isn't. I mean, basketball is not a vocation. It's not a vocation. I mean, your vocation is what you do, the work you do. And you've worked all your life to try to become. And basketball doesn't last very long. The average span of a lifespan of a pro basketball player is probably 5 years. People don't realize Michael Jordan only played 13 years. Mm-hmm. Kobe Bryant he's the unusual. He's the exception to the rule. So is Tim Duncan. They're exceptions when you play 18, 19, 20 years.
Right.
That's unheard of. So what I'm saying is you better take care of what you have, and you read about it all the time about an athlete that didn't know how to handle his money, didn't invest properly, didn't surround himself with the right people. That's what judgment and education is all about, making better decisions.
Right.
And so that's what I advocate as a coach, and that's what we teach.
I love that.
You're listening to R&R on Sports, ICONversation with Coach Tubby Smith. Coach, you talked about the NBA. Talk about a little bit about some of the players that you coached formerly that are yet in the NBA.
Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondo was a very talented player, and we had a great run with him. I think the last game we won 28 games. We were together. We went to Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to Michigan State. They went on to win a national championship. And we had another. Tayshaun Prince is still in the league.
Tayshaun Prince.
And we had a number of players that have played. Najee Muhammad, Jamal McGlure, Scott Paget. These are kids that we've had over the years. Some I didn't finish with them, but we started with them. I've been very blessed, and we try to stay in touch with as many of them as we can over the years. But I'm more impressed with the young man that's here, like the young man that's visiting me today from New York. He was my first recruit at Tulsa. He's in town, Mark Morris. He coaches at a high school. He's coached at Globe College in New York. But he's come in, coach, just want to visit with you on his way to Atlanta. So that's what I'm proud of. He has his degree. He's got a beautiful family.
Right.
That's what it's about.
So do you have a team? Who's your team?
A team?
Yeah.
As far as, I have the Tigers.
Oh, well, of course, the Tigers are your team. That was a very good answer. I'm talking about if you're going to sport gear from an NBA team, whose team is it?
I'm very impressed with the San Antonio Spurs, having lived there, knowing Greg Popovich and how his teams play, that unselfish play. I've always been impressed with the way they've done things. But growing up in Maryland, I was a Baltimore Bullets fan back when they were Bullets, when they became the Wizards. And so usually you root for your home team.
Now, did you make a conscious decision at some point that college basketball was going to be your future, and you were going to just take it on in with that versus going to the pros?
In the ninth grade.
Oh, really? Ninth grade.
But you said going to the pros. I see what you're going, where you lead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No problem.
I knew in the ninth grade I was going to be a teacher and a coach.
Okay.
And my ninth grade teacher asked my dad if I could come out for the team, and never forget, he came to the school bus. My dad was a school bus driver. He said, Mr. Smith, you're going to let that boy play. He's a pretty good athlete. Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete. My dad said, well, he's got chores to do.
I like
your
dad.
Work to do.
Hey, well, can you get him home? That's sort of, being a good coach. He said, yeah, I'll get him home, but he never did. But that's okay. I got home anyway. I'm glad he got me. And we still stay in touch. Cecil Short, I still talk to him.
That's outstanding.
But I thought that that was my calling, to coach college basketball. I've had about 5 opportunities to coach in the NBA. I've turned down 6, I think.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Over the years to stay in college. But I had a great job. I've had great jobs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tulsa, Georgia, Kentucky, Minnesota. I've been so blessed. Texas Tech, and now here at Memphis.
So nobody's talked to you about that K word? Keep saying it. Kentucky.
We got a homer in here, Coach. Well, listen, we got one more quick question. One quick question, and this is it. We always, when you going through, you getting announced this is your last game ever. Every hero has theme music, Coach. What's your theme music on your last game as you walking out the center court?
You'd have to ask me something like that.
He always does. I try to stop him.
No.
It's Go Tigers Go.
What did I say about a finalization, a final song?
Man, it's you got to have theme music, Coach.
I think I have to, Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, I did it my way.
I did it my way.
All right.
That was smooth. That was smooth. Coach, we appreciate you being with us here on R&R on Sports, and we are like a bad habit that you never get rid of. So know that we're going to come back and ask you to join us again at some point in the future. Would you do that?
Please do. I'd love to.
Thanks a lot.
You also provide a great service to our community, for this state, forever. So keep it up.
I can't wait for Tiger basketball.
Thank you so much. And we'll be back with more R&R on Sports right after this.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many week shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You keep repeating your miss. The rhyme from the microphone solo with.
Hello, I'm Uncle Howard.
Jennifer Conroy.
I'm Larry, the fantastic Robinson.
Your host for R&R on Sports.
You better get with us or I'm going to come looking for you.
Every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on the SportsByline.com network, plus RNRonsports.com, Kazukian.com, iHeartRadio.com. Get our podcast, get after us. We look forward to having you.
R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network.
Rolling down the street with my radio on, listen to Funky Politics.
The mayor of the city of Memphis, Mayor Jim Strickland. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Dr. Sharon Griffith. Hey, Doc, how are you?
Good afternoon.
What you say, Grandpa?
Did he call me Grandpa?
We keep it real, we keep it right, and we keep it funky.
Funky Politics, part of the Kazukian Network. R&R on Sports with ICONversation.
The Executive Director of the NBA Players Association, Ms. Michelle Roberts.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
He is currently Managing Director and Chairman of USA Basketball, Mr. Jerry Colangelo, with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you guys. Nice to be with you.
The one, the only, Detlef Shrimp.
Hey, Howard and Larry, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be on the show.
Ken Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Catch ICONversation on R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network. It's R&R on Sports with Uncle Howard.
What do cornerbacks do? Cornerbacks talk about your mama, talk about your manhood and all that. You can't deal with that, then go sit down.
Jennifer Conroy.
Jenny.
JC.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
I'm good.
Everything good?
Yeah.
How was Hanukkah?
And Larry Robinson.
I'm trying to have a real conversation.
They
finally blocking for him in Seattle.
Yeah.
And so he's not running for his life, and he's been able to stay in the pocket and hit his man downfield. I mean, I think
he did a swan dive with a half twist into something.
It's R&R on Sports.
Hello, I'm Uncle Howard.
Jennifer Conroy.
I'm Larry, the fantastic Robinson.
Your host for R&R on Sports.
You better get with us or I'm going to come looking for you.
Every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on the SportsByline.com network, plus RNRonsports.com, Kazukian.com, iHeartRadio.com. Get our podcast, get after us. We look forward to having you.
R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network. Blues in the Basement, now podcasting and available on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and IG, and download the Blues in the Basement app.
I mean, this music just makes for a good time. All I need is a beer and some babakoo.
And some babakoo.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm T-Shaw.
Blues in the Basement, in the Basement, in the Basement, in the Basement, in the Basement.
And we've come to the end of yet another R&R on Sports.
Arrivederci.
This is where we say
Sayonara.
our parting words. I just want to say that I personally have been extraordinarily proud of my country and watching the Olympic participants. I have the same kind of pride that I had watching Jesse Owens, watching John Carlos and Tommy Smith and 68 on the platform. I just am really, really impressed and tremendously proud of the young people and the way they competed on a global stage.
I would have to echo your statement. As a family, we've watched the Olympics, and it was really one of the first times that my boys have gotten a chance to just kind of really absorb it all and check out, the gymnastics and the swimming and all that, and having conversations about those different sports. And I can say that I am very proud of the United States and how we've represented ourselves for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had some line mofos, but beyond all that, the women basketball team, the women gymnastics team, the swimmers, the track and field athletes. And you know what?
And as we take this,
I have to give a shout out. Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt cut off his interview to stand at attention doing the national anthem for the United States, and I have to give him a shout out for that. I thought that was very classy.
Was he smiling?
No, he was waving his finger like, come on.
And as we do this, we still don't know the outcome of the men's basketball team. We wish them the best. Bring home gold, baby.
Absolutely.
So with that, we're going to say thank you for being with us. Be sure to check us out, get our podcast, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. And
make sure to rate and subscribe. Rate and subscribe to podcast, man.
And we'll be back with more R&R on Sports next week. Same time, same place. Y'all be safe.
Avita Zane.
Uncle Howard out.
Holla.
R&R on Sports is recorded live at LPI Studios in the heart of Memphis, Tennessee. Web designer Daniel Coates, executive producer Larry Robinson, written by Howard Robertson, and produced by Reggie Fine. R&R on Sports, part of the Kadzukian Network.